Sudah?
Ya, Assalamualaikum Syafiq. Okey, saya
Ah,
bagi.
kasih. Bagi host. Okey je. Okey, thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Siva. Siva, nice picture there.
Good evening, doctor. Yeah,
Nice.
that was my previous uniform from AirAsia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have Shafiq here. He will be the host for the time being.
Okay, sir.
Okay. I think we will start in 17 minutes.
Sure, doctor. Sure.
Okay. Okay. So feel free to make preparation and anything you can just message me or you can just ask Shafiq there.
Yeah, sure, doctor. Sure. Thank you. Okay.
Testing. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, clear.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
we can
you.
hear you.
Right, hi everyone. So we're gonna wait for another 5 minutes for participants to join us. So please bear with me and stay tuned. Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to all of you. My name is Abdullah Hanan bin Shamsuddin and I will be the host for today's webinar. First and foremost, I would like to say welcome to Aero Brainer Industry Insight under the Avionics segment. So on behalf of Aero's Club Committee, I would like to grab this great opportunity to welcome and express our gratitude for each and every one of you for attending this webinar. So before we proceed, there are a few reminders that I would like to go for all of you. Firstly, since this program will be conducted live, we do hope to get good cooperation from each and every one of you to not leave any inappropriate or sensitive comment in the chat section. Secondly, feel free to leave any questions at the chat box below at any time of the program. And later on during the Q&A session, I will address the selected question during the Q&A session later. And thirdly, at the end of this event, there will be two QR codes that will be provided. One of them is the attendance, and another one is the link for Guess the Picture quiz. So all of you are welcome to join the Guess the Picture game, okay? So now, without further ado, I would like to invite Saudara Farhan Al-Faizin to lead the prayer recitation. So please, welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya al-mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma ja'al jam'ana hadha jam'an marhuma wa tafarraqna min ba'dihi tafarruqa ma'suma. Wa la taj'al Allahumma fina wa la ma'ana shaqiyyan wa la matrudan wa la mahruma. ربنا عليك توكلنا وإليك أنبنا وإليك المصير اللهم طول أعمارنا وصحي أجسادنا وثبت إيماننا ووسع أرزاقنا وحسن أخلاقنا ونور قلوبنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم اجعلنا من أهل الخير واجعلنا من أهل البركة واجعلنا من أهل المغفرة اللهم اجعلنا من أهل الجنة واجعلنا من أهل الفردوس أعلى برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم اجعل مجلسنا هذا مجلسا مباركا لأصحابنا وأهلنا وجيراننا وضيوفنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amin. Thank you, Saudara Farhan. So it is hoped that our event will be in his blessing, inshallah. So ladies and gentlemen, today's program will be started by our speaker presentation and then will be followed by Q&A session. So the objective of our seminar today is to give the exposure to the student about the avionics technology from the industrial expert itself. Speaking of which, we brought to you the right person for this event. Presenting Mr. Sivakumar Sandirajah. He is a senior LAE or senior licensed aircraft maintenance engineer in avionics at Airbus with more than 10 years of experience in aviation field. He was graduated from City of Bristol College, United Kingdom. He holds CAA UK ESR Part 66 Category B2 Aircraft Maintenance Engineer License, Avionics, and CAA Malaysia Part 66 Aircraft Maintenance Engineer License, Cat C for base maintenance, and B2 Avionics. And now currently pursuing Master of Science in Aerospace Engineering in UPM. So without further ado, let us welcome Mr. Sivarajah to deliver his presentation. So with all due respect, please welcome.
Hi guys, thank you, Mr. Hanan.
Thank you.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Sivakumar Sandirajah. As our brother Hanan been introduced, I'm working in Airbus Malaysia, which is another company under Sepang Aircraft Engineering. And my experience in this aviation or aircraft maintenance engineering started way back in 2007. And also I promoted to licensed aircraft engineer back in 2013. And it's been almost 8 years completed that I becoming, because I have been promoted to licensed aircraft engineer. And as we know, avionics in Malaysia or worldwide, it's a bigger scope that everyone would like to know about it. Basically, avionics in Malaysia, I would like to touch I would like to dive into the maintenance part of our aviation. So basically, aircraft maintenance industry in Malaysia is one of the most prominent industry in, even we can say, in Southeast Asia region. And we have well-known MROs in Malaysia, such as Malaysian Airlines Berhad and Sepang Aircraft Engineering, which is under Airbus, and also currently ADE, which is under AirAsia. And basically under avionics, avionics engineers are needed in MRO or airlines. Basically, avionics engineers can be divided into two: avionic engineers who hold a degree, and avionics engineers who hold a specialist license. Basically, the one who can issue certificate release to service for the aircraft once they have completed their scheduled maintenance. And in airlines, the technical services engineers, which are degree holders, they will be in the technical service side, which they will be producing the engineering instructions or engineering orders, which will be carried out by aircraft maintenance engineer. So basically, both of them will work in hand in hand hand in hand to complete everyday task. And in basically avionics is I would say is electronics in an aerospace term basically, and avionics is inclusive of electrical electronics technology and instrumentation technology, and also a radio and radar or navigation technologies. So basically in Malaysia, if you look at the numbers, the avionics engineers or licensed aircraft engineers or technical services engineers, avionics engineers are still in low numbers because I guess it's a bit harder to graduate from avionics perspective, because it involves quite a number of quite a number of difficulty subjects. And even during my days back in Bristol in 2007, I had only about 4 or 5 hours in a class compared to about 10 or 12 students in mechanical side. So yeah, that's create a big demand for avionics engineers, especially in the maintenance area. Like because I'm a maintenance repair and overhaul guy, and I work in a base maintenance. And basically, if an aircraft comes in for heavy checks, basically the checks will go on for about 1 or 2 months. And the numbers, the NISBA is like 10 B1 engineers and 3 B2 engineers. So yes, we are still in a big demand. And looking at the number of graduates are coming out of graduate schools are still low, and they are very highly demand as well. And besides that, when we dive into what is avionics, so as I'd say, electrical electronics will be the main part, and instrumentation and radio and navigation system. So if we look at the technical service perspective, avionics engineer, technical service engineer, they will come up with engineering order or engineering instruction, which they have to convert from a service bulletin. A service bulletin here, I would like to highlight that a service bulletin is a documentation that a manufacturer release to advise the airliners to complete it in order to have a safe flight or not to jeopardize any safety of the aircraft. So in this case, aircraft avionics technical service engineer will be the one issuing the engineering order. So they will simplify the service bulletin. Like the service bulletin might be of like 300 pages, but our technical service engineers can simplify it to 10 to 20 pages. And then when you arrive on the floor, the licensed aircraft maintenance engineers will carry out this task with the help of technicians, and they will sign off for the task. And if we ask about how to get into avionics, that could be the very good question from everyone. So how to get into avionics? So we have a 2 scenario here. It's like one, to be a technical service engineer, you just need to engineering degree, I would say in a mechanical or electronic or aerospace or aeronautical, and then you can get a place in technical services. To be in maintenance engineering, you must be a license holder. So what is the license we are talking about here is a special provision given to engineers in order to sign off for the aircraft. In simple term, like anyone can become a pilot unless he holding a license. So he must hold a license to become a pilot. And the same thing here, anyone can become an engineer, but he must hold a license in license. So basically we have 2 main regulatory bodies in the whole world. They are FAA, US, and also EASA. EASA will look after the European. So I believe Malaysia is closely follow up by CAA UK, because I believe when our Malaysian Airlines started those days, and all our civil aviation has been early days set up by our British guys. So they have set up such rules that we have to follow our CAA UK licensing programs. So even up to date, we are still following civil aviation of UK's examination standard. So that is the reason why Malaysian licensed aircraft engineers are very well talented and very well in demand, especially in Middle East and in European countries. So you can see a lot of our brothers, our uncles might be in working in Middle East. They are proudly, we can say, licensed aircraft engineers from Malaysia. And in order to be a licensed aircraft engineer in Malaysia, especially in the avionics side, one must have completed examination which is approved by our Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia. In order to complete these modules, one have to get directly registered with Civil Aviation Malaysia, or you have to take exams in MAWA, Malaysian Aviation School in Sepang, or they can enroll in ATO, Maintenance Training Organization, which we call here Part 147. They can enroll themselves there. It's about a 4 to 5 years program, and they can graduate with license provided. They have completed all the modules with have attendance and on-job training are completed. And if we take into account the examinations here, the passing mark is 75, which is quite high, and it will take a very good hard work to get through this examination. So it's easily, we have about 14 modules for a B2 engineer and about 17 modules for a B1 engineers. If you're a B1, you have to take a special module to become to able to work on helicopters. If you're a B2 guy, it's already inclusive. So you can be a licensed aircraft engineer for fixed wing and also for rotorcraft. And besides that, we have in order to become a licensed aircraft engineer, we need to know 3 parts here, which is like Part 147, maintenance organization, Part 147 is the training organization, Part 145 is the maintenance organization, and Part 66, it's your rate book, or we call it license. And with all this completed, with the license endorsed, you still not able to sign for an aircraft because you are just a license holder and you are not specialized on any aircraft. The specialization course we call type rating. So you can see in Malaysia, there are quite a number of centers that providing this course, which is approved by our CAM. So basically, if you want to become a licensed aircraft engineer on 737, you have to get a type course of 737 or A320, or 777, 787, 380. The list goes on. And provided you already have those license and that type rating get endorsed, and then you will be considered as a licensed aircraft engineer, and you will be given an approval number to sign for your certificate of release to service. It means the aircraft is safe to fly and safe to take off. So basically, before the aircraft takes off, the safety is in the pen of our licensed aircraft engineer. Even the licensed aircraft engineer got a final say to release the aircraft or not. So we can say that a licensed aircraft engineer is also a life-saving job as well. Regarding all these data, you can find in the Malaysian Civil Aviation Authority Malaysia webpage under Civil Aviation Directive. For example, you can see in CAD 1101, 1801, 1821, and the list goes on. And besides that, if you ask whether it is worth or is it in demand, yes. Looking at our rate of aerospace growth, and avionics engineers are very welcomed even in Malaysia and overseas. When looking at the space that we are moving in aviation industry, aerospace, basically with the introduction of drones in a big scale like air taxis and fly-by-wire, we even can hear that there is an aircraft going to take off and land without pilot's help, just with the robotic arms. All these comes to a conclusion that the demand for an avionics engineer is keep on increasing, because only a maintenance aircraft engineer with avionics can sign for the system, like as I said earlier, electronic, instrument, and radio. And these 3 big scopes are only can sign off by avionics guy. And other than avionics, we can also have airframe and engine, which we call a mechanical, and it's covered by a B1 engineers. And as usual, the B1 engineers, the numbers is high from those days. So when we look at the numbers of B1 and B2 engineers in an organization, we can see the B2 engineers are still low, and it doesn't change for the past 10 to 20 years. And besides that, I would like to introduce the project that I have done with A320, because I am specialized in Airbus A320 with the engines of CFM 56.
Excuse me, Mr.
Yeah.
Siva. Do you have any slides you would like to share, or?
No, I didn't prepare anything.
It's okay. It's okay. You may continue. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So with that saying that, I would like to introduce some of the project that I've done on the A320. I have done a project called ELSD, which is Electrical Load Safety Device. This is a device that we installed in the trimmable horizontal stabilizer in actuator of aircraft. Basically, you can see this on this empennage area. So we install this sensor so that it can sense and trigger a warning when there is a overloading on our actuators. So I have done the wirings from the cockpit all the way to the actuators, and and also inclusive of the test. And my second project would be the car-band Wi-Fi project, which is about a Wi-Fi on board. And we know that all the big airlines like Qatar, Emirates, all this system is already installed in their aircraft, and this system really helps the passengers to get the Wi-Fi, like how we get it Wi-Fi in home or in public places. So even we can watch live streaming Netflix or Amazon in our own devices using this Wi-Fi. And this inclusive a big antenna, and the range of frequency is about 30 gigahertz. And it's quite very risky installation as well. And we successfully installed on almost 8 aircrafts of AirAsia fleets with the help of Satcom with the help of Collins Aerospace from UK as well. And besides that, I've also involved in the Panasonic modification called Thamda. It is a small sensor which is fitted to the body of the aircraft, which can collect all the meteorological data and send to the ground. And these data can be sold to other airlines so that before they go into the airspace, they can get the weather prediction earlier. And besides that, I also have done some of the formats we call a flight operation and maintenance exchanger, which is information data transferring from in-air to ground. So we have to install the antennas, the transceivers, and also the wiring part of it. So that's more or less about my job scope. And I believe I covered everything. So that's it, Mr. Hanan, from my side.
Oh, that's very impressive. That's very interesting. It was very compact from the starting of your journey to become an engineer. So I really wonder. So then now, this is the era of flying by wire. You said just now, it was a revolutionary from the day it has been invented. So based on your experience, based on your knowledge, what can you see in future of avionics? Maybe there is something new that they will invent or something. So maybe you have something to share about that?
Yeah, the future of avionics, I would say, is very bright, because since I would say everything is more into fly-by-wire, and most of it will involve electrical and electronics. So basically, all these skills will be taught to you. People will teach. The instructors will teach you during your preliminary courses. So it's only specifically taught to you by this instructor if you are under avionics courses. So basically, with an introduction of fly-by-wire and drone systems, yes, the chances are very good for avionic engineer and the demand is, yeah, it's there, because I mean, we can see the number of vacancies for avionics engineers are quite high actually. And nowadays even people prefer most of the B1 engineers, even they are going an extra mile to take a B2 license as well. So they want to be a complete licensed aircraft engineers, when their demand will be a bit higher. So it's just like a bit 3 or 4 subjects, top up, just experience, gain experience, and then their license will be endorsed. So yeah, that is the trend as well. So we can say like not only a mechanical or avionics, the trend is like people are trying to get more licenses together, so they like can sign for everything. But yeah, as that being said, that the risk of it is quite high as well, because we need to be on toe, and you need to be very precise about what we're doing. So yeah, that being said, I can conclude that the avionics are always on demand, isn't in the technical services side or in the maintenance side.
Okay, thank you. So what can I see? It's the this career is quite promising for the future. It's future proof. I wonder if let's say if we now me and or the audience are having our degree in aerospace.
Mm-hmm.
So if we are looking for a job in MRO industry, let's say, do we need to take extra licenses, or we can just, I mean, is there any demand for aerospace engineers in MRO?
Yeah, definitely, because if you look at Airbus, they are a big aerospace company as well. And for the degree holders, and I have some of my friends who are licensed aircraft engineers, they are degree holders as well. Like they get a degree first, and then get enrolled and taking the exams slowly and gaining the experience while working in the airline or MRO. And then after that, they choose whether they want to become aeronaut. I mean, they want to become a technical service engineer, or want to get on the floor and work like an aircraft maintenance engineer. So the choices are up to them. But the degree is not a must for a licensed aircraft engineer. Yeah, but the license is a must for licensed aircraft engineer. So that is the difference. So if you're a degree guy and you want to have a license, it's a very much added advantage.
Okay, very well. Which brings me to the next question. You know, I have a short brief on your CV and your resume just now, and I've seen that you are continuing your master in UPM, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So you are someone who, I can say, a hardcore player in the MRO industry as an avionics engineer.
Yes.
So if you don't mind, do you mind to share why do you continue your master in aerospace?
Yeah, okay. I believe always that education or study shouldn't stop in a way, because if you consider an aircraft maintenance world in Malaysia, I already gained my highest license, which is a category C license. So for me to move up, or to get more knowledge about aerospace, so I need to have something. So that is the main reason why I get enrolled myself into MSc program, so that I can get exposure of the aerospace industry as well as important engineering skills as well, from proper degree course actually. So that is the reason why I get myself enrolled. Yeah.
Okay, that can be it can inspire a lot of more people to to continue their study and master, even though they are working already in the industry.
Yes. And yeah, I would like to add something here, because UPM is the only university in Malaysia recognizes our licensed aircraft engineers as a licensed aircraft engine license, like a B1 or B2 or CAT C, and recognize you and all our effort, and then give us a chance to continue in masters. So in that case, I would really like to thank UPM for that, because recently we had a program, I guess, Masters of Aerospace in System Design Engineering. They recently introduced, and that is a very good chance for licensed aircraft engineers to move on. Because if you look at the records, not most of the licensed aircraft engineers are degree holders, because for their job the license is enough, is more than enough, so they can continue work on it until they retire. But in order for someone who wants to move on, and get additional information or knowledge, the courses are important, like a master's degree or beyond that. And then UPM is the only one that giving us the chance, actually, I would say. So in that case, I would really thank UPM for the chance they're given us.
All right, I believe your gratitude expression has been heard by one of our lecturer here, which is Dr. Sharil Azad. He's here right now with us. So I believe he will accept that gratitude from you. Yeah, okay, so my next question, this is getting interesting.
Yeah, sure.
My next question is, so now is pandemic, COVID pandemic.
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, your job is based on routine, based on aircraft flying in and flying out. So what is the routine during the pandemic? Because as we heard on the news, there is not much aircraft flying in and flying out. Yeah. So is there any maintenance routine happen in the base? Okay, so yes, maybe you can share.
Yeah, sure. So basically, as we know, that the aviation industry is one of the industries that are being hit hard by this pandemic situation. And we can see a lot of our friends from airlines being retrenched or being banned on unpaid leave for 1 year. So all these things are happening and making most of us outside thinking whether this aviation, is it really safe? So I would say back in the line or back on the floor, there is aircrafts need to be there to get maintained frequently. Even though we have aircraft not flying, but there are a number of cycles of checks that need to be completed, and airworthiness review and airworthiness operations, everything need to be on. This is from an airline perspective. When we come to a maintenance organization, MRO perspective, we can see now most of the airlines are now returning their aircraft to the lessors. Means most of the airlines, as what we know, they don't own the aircraft. You see, they don't own the aircraft. The aircraft is we are leasing. The airlines will lease the aircraft from a owner, which we call lessor. So basically now most of the airlines, they are trying to reduce their number of aircraft and they have to do a de-lease. So which brings this business to MROs, and we are the one have to do the de-lease program. So it will take easily about 2 months. Basically, you have to get it configured to the original configuration. So it will be involving a lot of structural inspections and replacements, a lot of electronic modifications. And yes, the works on MRO is still going on. And besides that, we also need to think about air transport. It's not only about commercial, it's also about cargo. And a good example is Raya Airways, which is, I believe, they are getting more aircrafts, and definitely we need more people to work on it, to sign for it. And also we can say Cargo Express or MJets, they are coming in and they're also placing more orders on this. So aviation or air transport is always exists. So it's either commercial or cargo business or MRO business. The chances are there. So basically it says when one door shuts, another door open. So basically, if you are, I have some of my friends who used to work in airlines and now they are working in a cargo and MRO. So basically, as well-trained and skilled professions, so we are always on demand actually.
Yeah. Very, very good explanation. It really opens my mind when you say about cargo and stuff, because it's always in our mind that it's all about passenger aircraft and stuff. So even though it's grounded, there's still work to be done on the aircraft.
Yes, right? Yeah. Because for example, you need to do a hydraulics top up and engine oil top up, because it's like your car. You can't let your car park too long. It could drain your batteries and everything. Same. So you can't let an aircraft engine just stop just like that for a long time, because when fitted on wing, there are a number of hours or cycles that need to be completed. It means the engine must be run, and if let's say you never run it for so long, the engine will be inoperative, and we have to remove and send to workshop like a GE or Rolls-Royce, which could cost millions. So might as well we can do an engine run. So for doing engine run, we just need engineers and also technicians to be part of it. So the demand is there. Maybe as of now, it might be reduced, but the maintenance job is still going on. People are still being employed to work on it. Yeah, like it's a continuous chain, I would say, but it's a bit getting slow. But hopefully, when the borders are open, the business is going to boom, I guess.
Oh yes, that's the prayer that we have been praying every
Yeah.
single day, open the border and stuff. But
Mhm.
just see the number of cases
Yeah.
rising and rising. Just hope for the best, lah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So next, when we say about MRO maintenance,
Mhm.
it involve a lot of I can say using manpower or a lot of heavy load power. I mean, my question is there a lot of women or girls in your fields of carriers?
Yeah, I would say yes, because my wife is an aircraft engineer as well, and my sister-in-law is an aircraft engineer as well. Because I clearly say when they joined AirAsia back in 2007, they were among the first group of female or women in the industry. Even in current MRO, I can say that especially in avionics, there are quite a number of girls there. So basically, there is no difference, you see. So there is a gender equality in when it comes to work. So yeah, they're all there, and they are very hard work as well. Yeah.
That's okay. So there's no gender discrimination or stuff like that over there. So
Yeah.
it's just equal. So next, actually we are receiving questions. So
Sure.
I will start reading questions of this. So and a good reminder for all the students, if you have any questions, just feel free to leave on the chat, and Mr. Siva will answer it. So next questions. Do you have any for the licensed engineer? Is there any time? I would say, is there any period of time before it get expired?
Okay, the license, I would say, like it doesn't end the day you get your license, you see, because the license rely basically on your basic courses like human factors, EVs, electrical wiring interface systems, and air legislations, company procedures, and all these courses are mandatory. And ETOPS, extended twin operation engines, and all these are every 2 years you need to go for a refresher. And once you get employed with your company, they will do these courses basically in order for yourself to work on a live aircraft. So for engineers with a license, as long as their license got endorsed, their specialty in it, it's like what I mean is the type endorsed, the aircraft type endorsed in your license, you can keep it for life. And also before, let's say now we can see a lot of our friends being retrenched, and let's say they haven't come back to work on the aircraft for the past 1 year or 6 months. When they are coming back to the company, the quality assurance system will stop them there, and they will give all the refresher courses first, and also oral examination one-to-one with the quality insurance inspector before handing over or reactivating their approval. So basically, they have to be tip-top. They need to know everything, what's been happened for the past 6 months, what are the changes in our civil aviation authority, what are the changes related to SBs or airworthiness directives. So everything they need to know. So basically, yes, the recurrent training been given and will always be given to licensed aircraft engineers to make sure that they are the approval are very current and their knowledge is very current.
So the standard is very, very high, very strict.
Yes, exactly.
No wonder our MRO is one of the best in Southeast Asia, as you mentioned before.
Yeah, exactly.
I see. Okay, now That's the quality of Malaysian MRO.
Exactly.
So next, one of the question is, it's so rare to see job opportunity in aerospace industry nowadays. In, let's say, in Malaysia, because we are the consumer, we are not the producer of the aircraft and stuff. So from your point of view, can you share what is the best recommendation that you would like to give to all the fresh grads who really want to work in this industry, but the opportunity is very slim?
Okay, so I would just suggest something that if it's a degree, I mean you are just graduated with a degree, you try to look for other options as well, because a degree is always an added advantage. So basically what I would say is, let's say you finish your degree, you can get these professional courses like aircraft maintenance engineer course, or NDT, non-destructive testing courses, or most of it, and also some of it we call what do you call, component repair or maintenance. All these courses are started to come into Malaysia, but NDT, yes, is always there, and aircraft maintenance engineer's license route is always there. It's already there, and the component maintenance are slowly coming into Malaysia. So my advice is, don't stop at degree as well. So try to spread your wings and just try to grab the opportunities that you have around. So it's always, I would try to reiterate back here, it's always a very good added advantage to have a degree, because you will be multitask and multi-talented. Basically, let's say people will come for you, let's say you can be the all-rounder. You can be working in a technical service, so you know what are the documentations and how to shrink it or reduce it to a simplified form. And also, if you're a licensed aircraft engineer, you can carry it out, and basically the process from A to Z. So degree holders out there, so please just go after all the small courses, or take these professional courses with you, because as I said, more skills will be in demand. Because what I can say is, if we take into account in civil aviation, United Kingdom, UK, in order you to become a category C license holders, there is a two path. One is you need to have a licensed aircraft engineer with a plus 5 years experience, and you can need to have a Cat C license. But another route is a degree holder route. So you need to have a degree, and then a 6 months observation of a base maintenance, and then you can get your Cat C license. And trust me, that's one of the highest paid job in the aerospace industry. So you see, the opportunities are there, and soon I believe Malaysia will also include all this in the system, because from when we go back to 2007, 2010, we can see a lot of regulatories, inspectors, especially in the surveyors, civil aviation. Those days they call Department of Civil Aviation Malaysia. Most of them are licensed aircraft engineers like me. But nowadays it's changed, that most of them, the people who issue us license, issuing the CAD directive, people who coming for the inspections, airworthy inspection, everything, they are licensed aircraft. They are not only a licensed aircraft engineer, but a degree holder. So from being a licensed aircraft engineer only, they are preferring a degree holder as well. So, and yeah, degree holder, your concept is like much more bigger now. And even in all the airlines now, those days we don't have a proper system to maintain our documentation. But now, with the current CAM, there is a new system called CAMO, like Continuing Airworthiness Maintenance Organization, and they will have the airworthiness review officer or review staff, and the prerequisite to become the airworthiness review staff is a degree. So basically, you will be the quality inspector of the work that we done on the floor. And yeah, basically, you guys also will issue a certificate to say, yes, this aircraft been completed all the scheduled maintenance and is tip-top to fly. So yeah, I would say the scope is bigger now, actually, with the current introduction of our CAM new directives.
So there's a lot of opportunity to grab, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
But we just, we haven't opened our mind, and we haven't experienced the industrial experience ourselves. So thank you so much for the tips and
Even
explanation.
even to be in the technical services, we are looking more into aerospace graduate. So because we know about the aircraft and aerospace, compared to an electrical E&E guy or mechanical guy or mechatronics. So the chances for an aerospace guy to go in to grab a job in an airline or MRO or in any aerospace company is the chance is wide.
All right, okay, that's very good news to hear for students. So why not? You just grab it and let's see if we fit it. So let's say for avionics modules, you say just now there is a EASA and CAM for Malaysia, EASA for UK. So can you elaborate more on the subjects that we need to cover during the of the modules for avionics, and what are the hardest subjects that we need to focus on?
Okay, so for avionics, we will start from module 1 is the mathematics, and module 2 is physics. Module 3 will be the electrical fundamental, and module 4 is electronic fundamental. Module 5 is the digital techniques. Module 6 is the maintenance practices, and module 6 and 7 covers the maintenance practices, and module 8 will be aerodynamics. Module 9 will be the human factor. Module 10 will be the air legislation. So these modules are the same for B1 or B2 guy. And the additional modules will be module 11 for more on airframe and engine part for a B1 who want to graduate as a B1 engineer. So you have to focus more on module 11, which covers the airframe and the engine part. The same counterpart from our avionics guys will be module 13, which covers our whole avionics system in depth. So basically it starts from how a transistor works, and from the parts, it go to a system, subsystem, and up to a system engineering level, I guess. So that is module 13. So module 12 is only for a mechanical guy who would like to have a license to work on the helicopters. So it's a must module. It's for rotorcraft, I guess, but the module name I forgot, but it's for the helicopters. And module 13, as I say, is avionics, and module 14 is a propulsion, which is for avionics guys. And module 15 is a gas turbine engine, and module 17 is also related to the propulsion. So basically, the differences of B1 and B2 module. B1 will be take about two modules additional to a B2 guy, and in later part when we want to get additional license, you just need to take the 2 or 3 modules that we never take earlier on. So once you finish it and once you pass the modules, you only need about 1 year of on-job training or experience working on that system in order you to apply for the license and get it endorsed in your license.
All right, thank you. So let's say if we took the exam, there is if I'm not mistaken, there is 14 modules, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
14.
so let's say if we fail halfway towards the end of our modules, can we repeat the subject or we just?
Yes, the repeat as well also. We only can repeat it after 30 days.
After 30 days.
Even the 30 days is only with the proper classes attended. So if let's say you can't attend a class, I mean in any maintenance organization, I mean in a training organization, you can't attend the classes. So you must wait for 90 days to retake the module. So that is a regulation. So it's not like I fail today, I go tomorrow and take, no. And also there is a maximum of 3 retakes only, and it's including the first attempt, second and third. So if let's say we never make it up to the 3rd attempt, then you will be considered banned for 1 year to take the exam again. So that is a regulation.
Oh, the standard is keep getting higher and higher, and if I'm not mistaken, the passing marks is 75%. If I'm mistaken. Oh.
Yeah, 75. Yeah.
That's quite challenging, but when there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, exactly.
So back to your career. your career with avionics involved instrumentation, radar, navigation, and more. So what is the hardest part of avionics, being an avionics engineer?
Okay, the hardest part, I would say, for me, I didn't, because after being working almost 11 years, I don't see the harder, but the newbies, the new guys who coming into the industry, I always find they are a bit difficult with the radio system, the radio and the navigation system. So basically, it's like you need to have, basically we work based on the manuals. And then the manuals will just ask you, okay, do this, do that, do this. Okay, but for the radio system, is a transmission and reception. So to do a retransmission, the aircraft will just help you, but the input data, for example, let's say you are on the KLIA airport and you want to establish a communication with the tower, you need to know the frequency. So it must be in your fingertips. Or if you want to tune to the BOR, which is a very, very high frequency omni range, which gives you the bearing to or from, you need to know that frequency of the station, similar to the ILS system. So all this won't be mentioned in your maintenance manual. For electrical electronics, they will ask you, let's say you do a wiring check, you find the value must be within this 0.3 to 0.5 ohms is given there. But for radio, they won't say tune to frequency 1 to 1.5 to communicate. No. So basically, for radio, you need to do a lot of additional stuff. Like you have to go back to our airport charts and take out our runway charts and look for the exact correct radio stations and tune to them. So the radio, I would say, it's a challenging part because you have to look for the reference outside of your books. So and that it takes some time as well, because especially the high frequency communication, you can't do it the same frequency. You can't establish a communication at every time, basically, because the frequencies differ before sunset and after sunset. So the reference you need to take outside of your manual, I would say. So that is the hardest part, I would say, radio and navigation part.
Radio and navigation. There's a lot to remember, especially the frequency. And it really impressed me because you said between day and night there is a difference in the frequency.
HF. Yeah, HF frequency. Like HF. For example, there is a frequency like 8.942 megahertz, which you have to establish a communication with the Singapore radio. That will work in daytime, but when you use the frequency, it will switch to Philippines radio in nighttime. So it's happened. So basically, all these understanding or agreement between the instrument, say IFR, instrument flightation rules actually, and these Singapore and Philippines, they are switching the frequency. So basically, when an aircraft are going out of Malaysia, going to Sabah, Sarawak, Borneo, there you can see they are comes under Singapore and Philippines. And then they will establish the communication in such a way. So basically, it's an important thing for a pilot as well, because he uses a lot of navigation radio skills. And for a ground engineer, he need more than what a pilot know, and he need to think and the same way like a pilot thinks. So that is one of the hardest part or challenging part, I would say.
But even though it's the hardest part, I can still see you smiling, even though so maybe there's a joy in the difficulties itself. So which brings me to the next questions. What are the biggest companies of avionics in Malaysia in terms of MRO, or maybe in terms of MRO, or maybe instruments, workshops, or
Okay, for me, the state-of-the-art facilities is always our Malaysian Airlines Berhad, and that is the place that every aircraft lovers or aircraft maintenance engineer wannabes, must experience this Malaysian Airlines Berhad facility. It's really a state-of-the-art, and And Malaysian Airlines Berhad is one of the bigger facility that memang they, what do you call, they have a lot of customer worldwide, even from US, Middle East, everywhere. You can name it, everywhere. And MAS will have all the customer in their list. And second, I would say Airbus, which is Sepang Aircraft Engineering. They are specialized in single aisle aircraft, especially A320s and also ATRs. But now they are more concentrating on Airbus A320s. And also we have Aero and AAT, which is more specialized on military aircrafts as well as Boeings like 73, 76. So they are more specialized on that part. And besides the airlines and MROs, we also have some big component companies like Honeywell in Penang, which are always looking for avionics engineer, especially with the degree holders, to be a certifying staff over there. And in that case, my license won't work actually, because I'm on the aircraft. They are looking for a component, and they are prefer to have a degree holder. And the degree is the basic qualification, and you can have your component repair knowledge or whatever courses they will give you after you join the company. And if you see, I would say the bigger facilities people have, they are the bigger companies: MAS, Sepang Aircraft Engineering, Airbus, and AAT, Aero, and yeah, name few. Yeah, they are all of them. Yeah, they are the bigger players in the Malaysian aerospace industry. If in the airlines, it's definitely MAS again, and also AirAsia. And AirAsia also have their own maintenance team they call Asia Digital Engineering, and they also they also definitely going to boom once the border are open, because they already open up a new company with a current manpower. So just imagine, once the condition situation become normal, they need to have a manpower to handle a MRO and also line maintenance. So now these two businesses are rely on one group only, which is because of the current situation doesn't demand that. And in future, when everything comes back, so they need more manpower on MRO as well. So yeah, comes to our discussion again. The avionics demand is always there for the degree holders as well, for the licensed aircraft engineer as well.
So that's very interesting, because I guess all the airlines company are just waiting for rebound times, just to bounce back their sales and their profit, just to go back to normal times again. Just now you said about you mentioned about Aero, about the military.
Yeah.
So if there's anyone who would interested to join the military, let's say for avionics maintenance, is there any avionics? Of course there is. Am I right?
Yeah. Basically, if militaries, it doesn't come under civil aviation, you see. So in order you to work on a military aircraft and you sign off a military aircraft, you no need to become a licensed aircraft engineer. Maybe the prerequisite would be, I would say, maybe a degree, and then again, it's internal company training. So basically, they might ask you, if you are a degree guy, they easily will take you for the job, and then they will train you, and then they will give you something called company approval, which is limited to the company as well. Like for example, if you have a Malaysian DCA license, you can work especially in Malaysia, everywhere, anywhere, and also in Middle East or overseas, everywhere. Just a little bit of a conversion program, which is like maybe about 2 modules. Just take them, and you can get their international license. But for working on a military aircraft, there is no requirement yet for an engineer or a technician to hold a license in order to work on the military aircrafts. So yes, again, if there is a chance, anyone can try it, because that's one of the easiest way. And let's say in future, you would like to switch from military to commercial, and in CAM, they have a special provision for guys who worked on a military aircraft, which is like a reduction of experience needed in order to gain a new license. So basically, let's say if you're a fresh guy and you need to at least have a 5 years to own a license. But let's say if you're a military guy and you worked on an Air Force or aircraft maintenance in the military side, you only need about 2.5 to 3 years. So that is a provision given by civil aviation to the military technicians or engineers.
All right, thank you. That's a very thorough explanation. So it's a different journey than the civil civil maintenance engineer. Okay, so which brings me to the last question for today.
Okay.
So how can we connect with you? Maybe from LinkedIn or any website that you have?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in LinkedIn. You just can connect me. Just type my name. That's my LinkedIn name, Sivakumar Sandirajah. So you can search me in LinkedIn, and you can email me. No problem. I can just give my email. So yeah, so like LinkedIn is quite easy for me because it's just like another social networking platform. So we will be keep on scrolling there. So you can connect. You can ask any questions or any advisors from me. So just feel free to ask me.
All right. Okay. So with that, thank you so much, Mr. Sivarajah. Finally, we have come to end of today's webinar. So on behalf of the organizer, I would like to again thank you for our today's speaker, Mr. Sivakumar Sandirajah, and to all our viewers and our lecturer, Dr. Syaril Azrat, for the support and contribution in making this event a success. So thank you so much again. So before we end, I would like to have the organizer would like to have a photo session for all of us for a memory. So maybe everyone can open their camera and the technical team will take a screenshot. So who is the technical team? Azlan?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, done.
All right. Okay. I think there are some people who are not ready yet. So one more time, if you don't mind.
One more time. Okay.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, done.
All right. Okay, thank you so much again to Mr. Siva. That is a very fruitful and very informative sharing session. So before we end this live, to all students, please remain on your screen. The QR code will be displayed just a moment for the attendance and also for the guess a picture game.
Okay, so I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Syaril Azrat to give me the opportunity to talk to young and vibrant students like you guys. So I hope our aerospace industry is bigger than what we think, and we all can make a big difference in future. Especially Malaysia is very potential to become one of the bigger aerospace player ever. So again, thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Syaril.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Siva. I think I really appreciate your sharing session.
Thank you,
It's a
sir.
very nice talk, and also I learned a lot from your talk. So
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, guys. Thank you, Mr. Siva.
Okay. So just excuse me. Thank you very much. See you.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Mr. Siva.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. All right. So maybe we can share the QR code. Okay. On the left side is the attendance, and the left side is the quiz, the game that you guys can join. The attendance will be, the link will be open for around 10 minutes. And after that, we all can leave. Again, on behalf of the Aero Committee and the organizer, I would like to say thank you so much for attending our event for today. And stay tuned for tomorrow. We have the last day, which is with Dr. Salah for Aero. What is the title again? Tell a Tale with Dr. Salah. So please stay tuned and see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Hanan.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Dr. Sharif, boleh dah kalau nak end. Terima kasih, Doktor.
Thank
Okay.
you, Doktor.
Okay, sama-sama. Terima kasih semua.
Okay.